And, I bet when you guys get that just gets you more intensive, wanting to, keep going on and try to get more.
Like fires again, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you do kind of get discouraged. Sometimes you go 2 or 3 locations and you really don't find anything. Now, here lately, we've been pretty lucky with stuff. We've been kind of finding stuff.
One of my favorites here was the courthouse here in our own town that we called the Female Voice in the Basement, which was, I got it pulled up here.
Yeah, let's hear that one.
And that was in the basement after everybody had left. No one was even down there.
That is eerie.
Yeah.
That was the same location that we left cameras and recorders going the whole night, because we stayed there a few hours and then we left it recording all night. And we come back next day and, of course, tear everything down and pack it up and start listening to audio and watching video. And not really much on the video, but the audio wound up catching all kind of noises, like doors slamming, just crazy stuff going on there in the middle of the night.
That's another one out.
What was that?
Hear that?
Is that from the courthouse?
That's from courthouse. Can you hear that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
What's it saying? I can't quite.
It sounds like Townsby or something like that. I don't know if it's a last name or what, but it sounds like Townsby or something.
Yeah, it does kind of.
Not quite sure what it is, but it's definitely a voice. And we called a growl by Justice Court, which they were happy to hear that.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, but you guys, you have to look at one thing. I talk a lot of people, that are in big foot hunting, and they go out for years and years and never see anything. I mean, you guys are going out. Hey, you might not have a couple hits in a row, but it seems like you do get documentation that you're getting something from out there. So, I mean,
my opinion, the more you go out and do this stuff and you figure out what works for you or your group, you keep on. If you get good results from that same thing, then you keep doing it. You listen to EVPs that we've got, 10, 12 good EVPs from different locations that we've captured and saved and all, and you can't realize how many thousands and thousands of hours of audio that we've went through, and this is what we've got,
Now that sounds like a little kid.
Where's that from?
Attic to the courthouse. That was in the courthouse as well. That was the attic. We don't really know what it's saying, but it sounds like a child to me.
I done forgotten about those. We got the one at Thomas House. We got 2 or 3 from Thomas House.
I got those on here too. Let me see if they're loud enough to hear.
This is the first EVP. You got the first EVP that I ever heard. That was in that
Thomas House.
Yeah.
It's quiet.
It's like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
It sounds like quiet.
Yeah, it does.
There's another one we left the recorder in our room. We did a quick EVP session when everybody had left, went downstairs. And this one's modified, and the volume's increased so you can hear it. But it sounds like it's saying Earhart or something along those lines to us. I mean, I don't know if they just didn't like us or what, but
yeah, it does.
We were actually...
It's saying Earhart.
that's what we're thinking it's saying.
Well, that's what I'm hearing on my end.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it just finished EVP session, and we were saying, well, we're going to let the recorder go, and we're going to leave, and that's what you hear us talking about.
And then we actually left the recorder. I said, let's just throw one, on the bed and leave it. And after we had done left and there wasn't nobody up on the second floor, it sounds like the actual drawer opens and shuts in the room. Had no cameras going, but, it sounded just like a drawer pulling open and slamming shut.
Well, that just sounds like, like one of my guests I just had on recently, like the refrigerator opening and closing, or a bedroom door opening and closing, which would be really impossible to open and close. I can see maybe one creeping open, okay, or creeping close, but to open and close I just can't see a door doing that. I don't know if you guys ever ran across that, but I just can't see a door, open and close. And slam shut, I should say, too, also. I mean, and not just one time. It's happened, I guess, quite a few times, so.
We had, in the house that we used to live in, me and my wife and kids and all, we had moved in and lived there for about 3 years, I guess. And we were renting the place. And, the landlords that came by, we were talking about buying the location and all. And they had come by, and it's like, they come in and sat down with us and was talking to us, about the whole, purchasing thing and all that. And then we were talking, it's like, well, they got back, and after they got back, the family it was an estate. Some brothers and sisters had the actual house. And they said, well, did they say anything? It's like, no, because he was telling us the story of the conversation they were having. It's like, did they say anything about, the stuff going on? It's like, I said, yeah, we talked about it. It's like, they actually go out and do paranormal investigation. So the kids knew that there was some strange stuff going on in the house. Never said anything to us about it. Of course, me personally, I never witnessed anything in the house. I mean, I did a couple of sessions, My wife's listening now. She knows I did a couple of sessions there when we were getting ready to move out. But and really, I didn't catch anything. Didn't catch anything. And we believe it was their mother that had passed in that place.
Now, I'm going to interrupt you for a second. The author I was telling you about with the refrigerator and the doors open, she's been listening to your show, your Facebook Live. She's going to try calling. Now, if some reason, when I answered, if we get all disconnected, please call right back.
Okay.
Now, she's going to be calling in a minute, and, I'd rather let her explain what strange things, have been transpiring on her property.
Right, yeah.
Awesome. But we had a couple instances that happened while I was not there. One night, there was one of our kids' piggy bank was sitting on a bookshelf, and the bookshelf, I mean, it's a very well-made bookshelf. It was sturdy, and it was in the hallway, and the piggy bank was pushed all the way. Go ahead.
Okay, we got her right now. Her name is Liz. She also was a sheriff deputy for quite a few years. Okay, Liz, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, guys, are you still there?
I'm here. Doyle stepped out for just a second. Hey, Liz, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
Liz, why don't you explain, some of the couple of strange things that's, like that person, like in the sweatshirt that vanished when was walking towards you, and then a couple of things you were telling me about it happened in your house?
Yeah, the one in the yard with the sweatshirt. Basically, I was feeding my horses, and I saw someone who looked to be dressed in black, like a baggy sweatshirt, cargo pants kind of thing, walk in the space between my house and my well house. And as I fed the horses, I kept my eye on that area because that's the only way they could walk back out. Nobody walked back out. Minute later, I finished, walked to where this was, and there was no one there. There were no footprints. It had been raining. There was absolutely no sign that anyone had ever been there. And there had definitely been what looked like a person walk through that space.
Now, have you done any research on the property, or?
I haven't. I live in a rather rural area in Missouri, so there's not a lot of good information on anything really in the area as far as history and background and events that could have happened here.
Okay. I say you're lucky. I have yet to see an apparition.
We've caught plenty of shadows and things like that, but that's the Holy Grail.
There are other things too in my house. Inside my house, I personally have seen several times what looks like a shadow kind of peeking around the door frame into the room where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
As Gary said earlier, I'm the one who's had the refrigerator door open and close when I was the only one in the house. And
wow.
Not only did I hear it, my dog looked toward the kitchen. He heard it too. So I know I wasn't just hearing things.
Right. Well, animals definitely be perceptive on it.
Yeah, a lot of times animals will pick up stuff that we can't see or hear.
Has this always been happening? I missed that part when he came on. I had the phone set down. Has this always been happening? Did you build a house there, or did you move into one that was already there, or what?
We moved into a house that was already here, and we've been here close to 10 years, and there's always been things that have happened. We've always seen shadows. We had the incident with I don't know. They never told us anything. I think my husband may have asked at one point, and they said no, nothing really ever happened with them.
Well, that's also a thing. I caught that in my house, what we played earlier, and I've had things happen in my home since then. A couple of months ago, the one that actually built the house, he came in. He had sold it one time. There was an owner in between us. But he had came in, and I talked with him. Had he ever had anything happen? And he said nothing has ever happened. He was the one that built it, everything. But, it may not feel comfortable enough to, manifest, to show itself to anything to others. It may feel a level of comfort with your family, As crazy as that may sound.
And that's, no, I kind of had that feeling too, because I know previous owners were always very skeptical of anything like that. And
right.
For me, I grew up in a haunted house. I mean, it's something that's always been part of my life. So, it's nothing new.
Well, that may be. You're more receptive to it. And, they could be saying that, why waste our time and energy?
Now, hey, Liz, why don't you tell them what your prior two jobs were?
I was an EMT and a police officer.
Okay. All right, well, you've been around a lot of trauma.
I have. I have.
Possibly an attachment, you've been around death as well, right?
I have.
And that's another possibility. You could have attachment.
Well, I'm
sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's possible. But I've also had things like this happen since I was a little kid, where, death was never came into play with that. So, there's definitely something, I guess, different about me or weird, which I will accept. I will happily accept that.
Now, hey, Liz, didn't you also mention to me about the bedroom door opening and slamming or something? Or maybe I'm getting you mixed up with somebody else.
No, that was me too. Just to add to the craziness, my husband had not...
getting there.
I'm less than